One of the questions I get asked the most as a TCG store owner is, hey, Fanny, why don't you sell other card games? Why do you only sell Pokemon cards? And there's a few different reasons behind it. Number one, it's a lot to keep up with. Pokemon alone is kind of changing all the time. It's evolving constantly. There's a lot to try and navigate through. And the second reason deals with distribution. See, Pokemon cards do not require an actual brick and mortar to sell their product. So when we originally started our online LGS 10 years ago, going through the application process, you could list that you were just an online store. You could list a website that you sold cards on, and then you would still get approved because Pokemon did not differentiate really between brick and mortar stores and online stores. A lot of other companies do. So kind of a combination of those two things handcuff us a little bit because we only have, two people, myself and my business partner, who kind of run the Card Coliseum, and then ultimately working with distribution, we can't really get other TCG products. We've gotten a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the past. We've gotten a little bit of like Dragon Ball Super, a little bit of Digimon, a little bit of Magic the Gathering, but we haven't really dove too far into it because of the difficulties not only of obtaining product, but keeping up with the market all the time. It's just crazy. However, there's one card game that I have thought about carrying a lot more of, and that's because I enjoy the anime so much, and that's One Piece. I have always really loved the One Piece anime. My personal favorite character is Odin. You can let me know who you like in the comments section down below. I'm also a huge Tony Chopper fan. Odin, just the sacrificial way that he has kind of lived his life, sacrificing himself for his friends. It was just so inspiring, and I guess it was an emotional thing. Like, you shouldn't get that invested in a show, but it hit home, I think, for a lot of people, really. So I actually do have a alternate art, parallel art Odin PSA 10 that is like one of my prized possessions when it comes to the One Piece TCG. And I was recently talking to the wonderful folks over at Bandai about the One Piece card game. And I've never really gotten too much involved in trying to learn and understand the game from a competitive standpoint. But I talk about this all the time in my videos where I talk about going somewhere else, going somewhere that can make you happy. And with so much going on right now in the Pokemon card market, like, it's frustrating to not be able to find cards. There are other trading card games out there that can kind of just bide your time if you're somebody like me who really just enjoys playing TCGs. Now, Pokemon has always been a really fun TCG for me to play, but I've also learned Yu-Gi-Oh! In the past. I've learned Dragon Ball Super. I've learned Digimon. I've learned, I used to play Harry Potter back when Wizards of the Coast printed Harry Potter cards. We're talking years and years ago. Still have a lot of old Harry Potter trading cards. I enjoyed playing that game, and it didn't go very well. It didn't last very long, but I've thought about getting into Lorcana, and I've really thought about getting into One Piece. So I want to talk about One Piece a little bit, and I got to give a shout out to the wonderful folks over at Bandai because they sent me this wonderful Learn Together deck set that kind of teaches you how to play the One Piece trading card game. And they sent this to me to kind of talk about maybe this is where some people might want to go if you want to bide your time and look to learn a different TCG. One Piece, from what I've researched so far, seems to be a very enjoyable card game. And we're going to look at the contents of this. And you can find this at GameStop stores. I believe they sell it in other big box retailers as well. But you can also locate this probably at your local LGS that sells One Piece products. You can find it online. I think it's $39.99, but it comes with like 3 different decks and then some additional cards. It comes with all of the materials you need to play the game, and there's some events going on right now that really encourage learning to play this game. So as we enter into the holiday season, it's a great gift. It's a great opportunity to go somewhere else, to bide your time a little bit and really just to enjoy another fun TCG. So let's go take a look. So just to kind of start things off, here is the set sale event that is going on right now. It happens throughout the month of October, and then you get additional promo cards basically as supplies last. So this is going on right now, and I'm going to leave links in the description down below so that way you can see, okay, well, where do I purchase maybe some One Piece cards, and where can I learn more about these play events that they have, like the set sale event where you can go to a free battle event using this Learn Together deck, and you can purchase one of these, and then you get additional like products and promotional materials as you come. So there's a Bring Your Buddy campaign right here. You can see the period of time runs from October 3rd to October 31st. So it is coming to an end, but from what I'm researching, it also works until supplies last. So if you look at your local game store, and if you look at maybe some GameStops as well, they might have additional supplies that are available. So 2 stickers as a present for each Learn Together bought with your buddy. The campaign will be held not only at card shops, but at GameStops as well. And you can look at the, I'm not going to open up the store list here, but you can kind of look at that to see what's all in your area. So you've got promotional cards like this Luffy right here, and you can learn more about the set sale event, which is really just encouraging people to learn how to play the One Piece card game. And there's different videos and tutorials that you can kind of look at as well. It doesn't look like it's overly complicated, which is a huge benefit of the One Piece card game. I've never been able to really understand some of the other card games that are out there because there's just too much going on. And maybe that's just the lack of my brain size, but trying to understand all the rules of every single different TCG that's out there, it can be a little bit difficult. So just getting through the phases of the One Piece card game, the refresh phase and the draw phase and the main phase, like it doesn't seem like it's too difficult. You just have life that's associated with your leader, and as your leader's life decreases, then eventually your leader gets knocked out. And it seems like for the most part, and I'm not going to go through all of the tutorial of the TCG, but like it just seems like it's not a very complex deck. You base it off of the color scheme of your leader card. Then you have 50 character cards and 10 Don cards that go with that. So basically utilizing each of those cards like a puzzle together to basically knock out your opponent's leader. So you can also find a local game store. Like I said before, you can look at the participating GameStops that are doing these events as well. You've got the Zoro card right here. So different promotional materials that are available. And then there's tournament rules and things like that. So I will leave a link in the description down below. And then I also want to encourage you guys to go check out the kind of beginner, and maybe you're somebody who's already played One Piece and you have a decent familiarity with the TCG. And if that's the case, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm going to leave a link for this as well. This is kind of their One Piece beginner website right here that goes over tutorials and goes over pack samples as well. So you can kind of open up your own booster pack, kind of like what they do with Pocket, where it'll show you what's inside and what you can pull. So it'll show you all these different products that are available. And Bandai has done a really good job of making sure that One Piece is readily available. They had a lot of issues for a while, kind of like what Pokemon is going through right now, where a lot of stuff was bought out and then resold on the secondary market, but Bandai has done a good job of keeping up with supply and being able to print enough product in order to meet supply. So there's still some issues here and there, but for the most part, I think a lot of stuff has cleaned up extremely well. So it'll go over all these different booster packs that you can kind of open that are already available. Originally, One Piece was supposed to be kind of a tribute to the 25th anniversary of the anime, and it's just kind of grown legs and just kept going. And there's tournaments all over the place. There's a lot of really cool events that happen with One Piece, so I definitely encourage you guys to check out these websites, learn a little bit more about them, and let me know in the comment section down below what you all think, what you enjoy, what you like about One Piece, maybe who your favorite character is, who your favorite, what's your favorite card is, and so on and so forth. So let's break into this this box right here so we can get a little bit deeper into what Bandai all sent. So again, a huge shout out to Bandai to kind of send this over. I think they knew that maybe I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to understanding new TCGs, and a lot of it can be kind of overwhelming, right? Like you already get like one TCG that you are a little bit comfortable with, that you know, and I've been playing the Pokemon TCG for a very long time, and I am very comfortable with playing the Pokemon TCG, but that just means that sometimes when you learn a new TCG, it can be a little bit intimidating, especially when you go to events, and that's why this set sale event, and that's why this beginner website is such a huge resource that you can utilize, because hopefully that encourages you to kind of step outside the comfort zone a little bit, and that's basically where the magic happens, and maybe you'll find something that you really enjoyed. So this says, read this first. Bon voyage to the world of the One Piece card game. Welcome, enjoy starting to play One Piece card game. A Learn Together deck set includes playing instructions and decks for 2 people. You can have fun learning to play by using the cards to play along with the instructions in the guidebook. The set's decks first have Monkey D. Luffy versus Roronoa Zoro. After that, you can have one of them versus Nami. There are extra cards included for each deck, so you can try switching the cards to power up once you're comfortable with playing what's included. So we've got 3 types of deck with play guides, which is great. And we talked about this before, the leader card, the 50 cards, and then the 10 Don cards, which is basically what you need to build your deck. And then there's 3 types of deck cases, 3 types of extra card packs. That's pretty cool. And then 1 playmat for 2 players. The 2 players will open the deck boxes with Luffy or Zoro on it and take out the deck. Please do not shuffle the deck. The order of the cards is important and specified for the tutorial. So that's really cool. The fact that they basically teach you how to play by custom setting your deck already. So you've got the playmat right here, which goes through all of the different phases that there are. So you've got the refresh phase, which starts at the beginning of your turn, unless it's your first turn of the game, because then you won't have anything to refresh. And then the draw phase, which basically happens every turn except for the player who goes first. The Don phase, which is what you need in order to summon your characters onto the field. Then you have your main phase, where you're attacking opponents' characters, and then your end phase. So you pile up your life over here, which I believe is 5 or significant based off of the life that your leader has. Your trash, you have your cost area, your character area. So this playmat, basically a 2-player playmat. So it's got a lot of length to it because it's something that you both will need. And then they've got play guides specific to whatever deck it is that you're choosing, which is super cool. So you've got a play guide here for Luffy, and you've got a play guide here for Zoro, and then you've got a general play guide here as well. So utilizing those websites, like I said before, to kind of learn maybe about events in your area, but also maybe a little bit more strategy as far as how to play the game, but you have everything involved in here, which is really cool. So maybe you're a visual learner. There's, like I said before, some great resources, some great YouTube videos that Bandai already has out there available to you. But if you're somebody who just learns more by reading, you have a lot of really cool resources just included in this Learn Together deck set, where maybe you and a friend can just buddy up and purchase something like this. That's really, really cool how they make it so easy. Which is really neat. So here's the Luffy right here. The artwork is obviously very sick. The artwork for the card game in general is absolutely, it slaps. It's really, really good. So this is very cool stuff. Basically, it seems like Bandai did a really good job of thinking of everything that you might need in order to start learning to play the game, which is super, super hype. And then we've got our 3 decks right here. And then you've got some additional goodies at the bottom here. So I'm going to take this out because it seems like it's kind of trapped inside. So we're going to take this out and just kind of go over and look at what we have here. So these are the additional packs right here. So you've got Nami on top. I'm just going to go through these real quick so that way we can see what we have. I do really like the artwork on the cards. I like the back. I even like the back of the cards. I think they look really clean, really modern. But you can see just the thickness of the cardstock hits a little bit differently, which is nice because that'll make it easier for shuffling and things like that. We've got Whitebeard right there, Gum Gum Jet. This is pretty cool. Jet Culverin. And then you can go through everything on the cards. Each one has, each number has a different significance, like their life, their power. You can think of life as like their hit points, the power. So we've got Dragon over here. We've got Kid and Killer. That's really cool. So lots of really cool artwork. And then, like I said, you can read through each of the effects that each of these cards have as well. So there's a Gum Gum UFO. That's super sick. So a lot of really cool artwork on these. And then we'll break into these starter decks real quick. Each one has a leader, and then there's 50 characters. So there's Zoro right there. We've got Arlong. The important thing to remember is the color has to match your leader when you're building a deck. And then we've got the giant pistol right there. So some really cool cards that are included in this. And then if we break into this, and we're not supposed to shuffle these as of yet until we learn to play. So when you go to an event, if you do something like this, so these are the white backing here is the Don cards, and you've got the Luffy right up front there. So some cool cards just to learn how to play with right away. I got to figure out how to open this this deck right here. But the important thing to remember is if you are getting something like this, you don't want to shuffle the cards right away until you actually use them for the tutorial. Once you get through the tutorial, then you can shuffle them up and then actually learn how to play by doing on your own. But they're already presets. That way you can follow along in the tutorial, basically move by move, which is really, really helpful. So we're going to go through this pretty quick. So you've got your leader card on top, and then this is what I'm talking about as far as the color matching your leader. So this is your power up here, and this is your life on all the corners over here, and this is the the Don amount that you need to pay in order to put these characters out there. So you've got a chopper over there. So a lot of really cool cards, cool artwork. And each of these cards obviously does different things. They have different effects associated with them. And like I said, I'm not going to go through every single card because you can kind of learn this stuff as you go. You can use up to 4 of the same card in your deck. So no different than really a lot of other TCGs where you have maybe 4 of, like Pokemon, it's 4 Ultra Balls and 4 Professor's Research, or there's staples that you will use 4 of in your deck. And then you've got your Don cards down here, which show you your turn plus 1,000. Basically, that means that if you attach this Don card to one of your characters, then you get an additional 1,000 power. So we're going to jump into this next deck right here. And again, not shuffling these, so that way when I do play more in depth with this learn to play kind of tutorial and follow along, everything is all preset, and that way it can give me a better understanding of exactly how to play, which is really, really cool. So we've got the Zoro right there on top, and then we're going to go through these relatively quickly as well. Very, very cool as far as the artwork goes. And again, I do really enjoy the thickness of the card stock as well. It feels a lot better, and like I said, it's going to be a lot easier to shuffle. There's a lot of really cool events that take place for One Piece, and they do seem to be continuing to grow in popularity. So highly recommend using those links that I include in the description below to get a feel for what One Piece looks like in your community. Maybe there are some events, not just like learn to play events, but just weekly tournaments that you can utilize, or even maybe regional events once you get a little better understanding of how to play the game, which is really cool as well. So we're going to jump into this last deck right here. And then, yeah, that'll be that. And then like I said, I encourage you to check out the websites, see what One Piece all has to offer. We talk all the time, like I said before, about going somewhere else. And I know this is a little bit different of a video out there, but really that's kind of what the vibe is that I'm trying to communicate throughout throughout all this madness right now. Obviously, I'm going to continue recording Pokemon content, and that's going to be the guts of what I'm putting out. But it's really cool to see Bandai send this over, and huge shout out to them, showcasing all this extra stuff. So you can see these aren't in the actual order. This deck could be shuffled. These are just showcasing all play sets together, all the cards that you might have in this deck. It's these 2 decks that you would utilize for the actual tutorial if you find a friend or a family member that you decide to play the One Piece card game with. So lots of really cool cards in One Piece, lots of really cool things that One Piece offers, and I highly recommend checking it out. Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below if you do decide to check out the links, check out the websites. Maybe you already do play One Piece, or maybe you're just collecting One Piece. The market, obviously, for One Piece fluctuates a lot as well. One Piece does have a lot of collectability associated with it, but again, it's another trading card game. So there's a lot of cool things about these TCGs outside of just the collectability aspect, the value aspect of it. And not only Pokemon, but One Piece as well has a really cool game attached to it, where you can battle against other players and friends and make cool memories, core memories, that will last you the rest of your life. And then you could also win some really cool prizes. So I highly recommend checking out maybe your local LGS. Like I said, I'm going to leave links in the description down below. This Learn to Play kit is absolutely amazing. It's got everything you could possibly need to learn how to play One Piece, which is exactly what somebody like me needs to use. So huge shout out to Bandai for putting this all together. Thanks for sending me this so that way I can learn. They know. They're like, hey, if Fanny can learn, anybody can learn. So shout out to Bandai. They know how to market their stuff. Thanks again for everything. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow with a normally scheduled video. Until next time, peace.